Hi, welcome to Felix Art World. Today I will be mixing these paints with floetrol. All you need is sticks, a container, floetrol, and a little bit of clean water, filter water. Okay, let's get started. I got all my tools here handy on the table, and I'm going to start with golden. This is a high quality product, high pigmentation. Always mix your paints before shake your paint before you start, even floetrol, because it does separate. And I already have a little bit of floetrol in these cups, so I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of this golden color. Why? Because it's high pigment and you need less of it. And compared to apple barrel and folk art, this is just heavenly. You don't need as much paint. And you will need less water. They're fluid already, so less water. So I'm mixing it with a small amount of floetrol that I already had there, and I'm going to add more in a moment. Now I'm going to get started with this bluish gray color, a little bit on the dark side. And as you can see, I'm totally out of it, but I will use the last drop in there. I'm going to add water, and that way I can use as much paint as possible so I don't waste any paint. So I just shake it up so that all that paint on the walls of the bottle comes out. And that means I will add less water to the container because I already added some. Now I make sure I mix it really well. Get it all. And I'm not using any serum, hair serum or silicone in this paint. Metallics on their own help you create cells. Okay, now I am using a strainer to avoid getting any big chunks in there, because the floetrol does dry, and even in the bottle, even if it's sealed, it dries up and creates chunks. I'm going to save this bottle. I add more water, shake it to clean it, and I save them. I use them. I reuse them later on to save any leftover paint most of the time. All right, so I'm not done mixing the metallics, especially the gold, but I'm just gonna start adding floetrol to the bigger cups for the other acrylics. The unbleached white I'm using is a soft body acrylic, and the dark blue is by Grumbacher's Academy, and it's a full body high viscosity acrylic paint. And it's actually drying up already. It's an older paint, and it's a bit on the dry side. This is a risky move. I don't know if it's gonna blend well. It might not. We'll see. We'll see if floetrol will save the day. It's a high pigmentation color. It's already professional level, not student level. It is very important to add the floetrol, a little bit of floetrol first, and then the acrylic, either the soft body or the full body high viscosity acrylics, and blend it really well with that small amount of floetrol. Now this blue, I want to make it a little darker, so I'm going to add some of this black. I already have a pre-mix with floetrol in this bottle. It's already the right consistency and everything. So I'm going to add a tiny little bit of it just to make it a bit darker. If you add a lot of floetrol to a full body acrylic or a soft body acrylic, it makes it really hard to mix it inside a cup. It's almost impossible. It's just like a blob of floating around there in the floetrol. So that's why it's best to use a small amount of floetrol first, mix it up, and then you add the rest till you get the right consistency. And here in this particular one, I am having a hard time blending it with the floetrol, Number one factor is that the paint was already drying up, and it's not the ideal. Anyhow, this is a demonstration of what happens when you use a semi-dry full body acrylic paint. Very well, since this is taking forever, I'm going to transfer it to a different container so I can use a knife palette and squeeze it with the knife palette. Mix it really well with that. And hopefully that will give me better results. Now I'm just gonna at once get the paint, the unbleached white or dark titanium white, and this other cup. And this is nice. This is a brand new tube. It's nice and soft. That is the ideal. I'm gonna get it going here. I squeeze the paint against the walls. I find out that works better. Smash it against the walls. I sped up the video, but I spent a good minute or two just mixing this. It's important to mix it well to get good results. Alrighty. This is so much easier with this soft color. Okay, it's ready for the rest of the floetrol, which is I'm going to almost fill up the cup. Strain it, and I still gotta add a little bit of water and keep mixing. All right, this is gonna require a lot of mixing, but I'm gonna set it aside and see what's going on with this guy right here. Scrape the rest of the paint off the walls of this container and just try to get a smash in there. Mix it up. Get rid of the particles, the little floaters that are in there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they're there. Anyhow, this is a lot of work. It's just not worth to use semi-dry paints. Okay, I think it's ready for the floetrol. I'm gonna add more floetrol in a bit. Also, if you have in mind a specific color, you want to blend 2 or 3 colors together, make your own blend, and they're soft body colors, acrylics, you mix them in a palette like this with a little bit of floetrol, just like so, and then you add them to your cup and add the rest of the floetrol and keep mixing. Okay, so now let's see what happens with this color. Is ready for more floetrol and more water. I say is about done. Yep. Alrighty. I will finish up, and now I'm going to show you the consistency of each cup. Let's get really close. Here we got the gold. I think it needs a little bit more water. It's not running consistently. This one too needs a little bit more water. It's almost there. It just needs more water. And this one, oh, this is perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Yep, I like that. See how it flows? Not flowing. This one, not flowing either. And I thought I added enough water. See the particles in there? That's what I'm talking about. No good. To watch the video where I use this paint on a plant pot, just follow the link in the description down below. Thank you. Bye bye.